All right. First, I want to tell you about my education, my schooling on Pinto. When Spud was 4 and I was 3, we started at Miss Catherine. She had a pre-kindergarten, and we would go from like probably 10 to 12. And all of our friends went with us. In fact, the closest friends I have now, 4 of us, we became friends when we were 3 years old and have been friends all of our lives. And we still are friends and we still keep up with each other. It's Danette Bordes and Faye Hill and Hortensies and that group, we were all the same age. The boys were Andy Pressgrove and Kyle Sumter. And there weren't too many boys. You had to pay to do this, so there weren't that many children in it. Then when I got as actually a student, I took speech, I took dancing, I took voice, something else, I can't remember what else. Spud took speech and painting. I can't remember what the other thing was. But anyway, in high school, in the 10th and 11th grade, they had a girls' ensemble. And we had Mr. Folsom was the director of the choir, of the school choir, glee club they called it. But there were 12 of us in this ensemble. And back then on television there was something called the Ted Mack Amateur Hour. And we sang a cappella. And Mr. Folsom decided that we were good enough that they were going to have an interview in Memphis for the Ted Mack Amateur Hour, and the winners would get to perform at the Mid-South Fair. So he takes us there. I guess our mothers, I don't know who took us over to Memphis. And I remember that we went into the studio. It was a radio station, and it was up above Walgreens on Main Street in Memphis. I remember that very vividly. And we sang and interviewed. And we did get a spot to perform in the so that fall when the fair came around, everybody got out of school 1 day a week to go to the fair. I mean, it was just, you didn't have school maybe on a Wednesday or Thursday, whatever. That was kids' day at the fair. And that was the day that we were performing. And we performed about 11 o'clock, and there was a young man that performed right before us, around 10:30. He was the singer. And he and I kind of hooked up because by that time I'd run out of money, and I had kids do. And he paid for me to ride the stuff with him, and his name was Elvis Presley. And he asked me if he could come to see me in Lepanto, and I said, oh, sure. So the following Sunday, he showed up and got to my house. And, of course, he had ducktails and white buck shoes. He was all Elvis. And we went to the movie in Martree, and when I got home, my daddy said, I want to tell you something. I don't ever want to see that boy in this house again. When Heartbreak Hotel came out several years later, this was several years later, I'd say, see, Daddy? It was kind of a family joke, but I really don't remember that much about him. He was nice, I remember that, and he was shy. I remember that. So we had one little movie together, but anyway. And after he died, I had 2 or 3 phone calls from people that were doing biographies of him that wanted to interview me, and I refused to be interviewed because the whole thing was so short,
Right.
I mean, we didn't really know each other, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was kind of fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
What a cool memory. Thanks.